Hey guys, Bill Jordan here. I'm at 201-790-3368. Got my blue shirt on today. It's Friday. Not Blue Monday, it's Blue Friday. Anyway, if you're a painter, a sculptor, or a candlestick maker, this is where you need to be. People buy from people they know. And the best way for them to know you is with my candid video interview. It resonates with them on the soul level. Once it gets on the soul level, or what you call the collective unconscious of the planet, everything is Jake. Everything is great. They want to pull you in. They want to make you a family member, give you all the support and love that they can give you. And that's a good thing. But first, you have to tell your story. See, I can't emphasize enough of telling your story. I know you think that by doing your visuals, I have visuals, right? You may not like what you see up there. I don't particularly care. The point is that they're visuals. But, when I start telling you the story about, what is this piece about? It's about balance and equilibrium. It's about the balancing factors in life. And that when you have that type of balance in your life, now balance doesn't mean 50-50, right? Balance just is. Sometimes 80-20 would be the balance, like the balance of the planet is 70-30 in terms of water relationship to land. That's just the way it is. That's the balance. Now, if we're 50-50, my God, that wouldn't be a good thing for us, would we? We'd have less land, maybe less people, maybe more people, and that would cause a serious problem. There'd be more wars because they want to kill everybody off for more land, right? If we're the other way around, 20% water and 80% land, that would be bad too. So the balance in this case is 70-30, just like maybe for your body, right? 70% water, 20%, 30% the other stuff. Okay, so balance is a key issue. Get my point? So now we're talking about images, and I'm telling you the story about the image, how it relates to you, not allowing you just alone to figure it out in your head. I'm telling you what it is. That gives you greater meaning. So now you can go deeper, has more value to it. Same thing with your work. Whatever your work is, if you do flowers, you do cups. Say you want to draw a cup, and you make it look like the real deal, and whatever you want to do, But the story behind making the cup, why you did it, what your thought, mood, and attitude was about that when you did it is critical. It adds to what you call it the culture. See, I won't say the culture in terms of when I say culture in this sense, I'm talking about the group consciousness. That's what it is, right? They call it, rather than call it group consciousness, they call it culture. So culture is the main thing that we're striving to attain and maintain. That's why you have your babies, you always want to pass something down. You always have to think, leave something for the family. You want to be remembered in posterity. It's just in some way that what you do is going to add to the summation of this culture, which is already done. And am I saying that I'm a person who believes in, things already planned? Not really, no. But then again, maybe I am. That's off the topic. Let's get back on topic. You got to tell your story. Now I want to tell you a story from the standpoint of this cultural thing. And I want to show you this guy here. And I'm on culture today because the mainstream American culture needs infusion. It's not about making bowls of fruit and flowers, things that are, why are you making the bowls of fruit? Why are you? See, the next guy we're going to talk about is a guy named Standing Fox. He's an Apache out there in Arizona someplace, right? Now you know about the Apaches, right? They were killed off, weren't they, by, it's the cavalry guys are coming to get them, right? Because the Apache were evil people. How dare they try to defend their land, And we have, these classic memories of massive slaughters, it was a Battle of Little Bighorn, 1868, and then in 1968, right? Get it? It's still going on, guys. Where the indigenous people have been wiped out, so people can inhabit their lands, and call it theirs, after they slaughter these guys. Anyway, some of these guys are still left. The Apache, in Arizona is one of them. And we're going to talk about this guy today. His name is Standing Fox. He does photography. And he's an activist, but his photography work is, they say, is inextricably, tied to his activism. Okay? Now here's a picture of one of his people there. It looks like Times Square in Manhattan. But let's move on to the real deal here. Here he is with his people. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something. They have this Peachtree Roundtable thing that they go to and, celebrate. I think it's a 12-day event. All right. But what I wanted to get across is that this guy here, Standing Fox, he says that his art is tied to the land. In other words, when he does, he says, I was brought up in this area of Arizona where all things Apache were created. Looking out at the landscape, I know where I was created, what family was created there, what type of Apache was created over there, what spiritual being was created there, who is from the earth, the canes in the river, the lakes under the lake, on top of the mountain over there. This earth helps shape our people. And in everything that we do throughout all the ceremonies, we acknowledge the ground. My photographs communicate this relationship. Okay, now, this is what I'm trying to get across. This guy here, man, he's just saying, his name is Standing Fox. He says, look, there's some type of relationship between all this. It's not doing it for the sake of being beautiful. Well, I know you're going to say, well, that's him. No, it's not him. This is an original guy talking about the value of your function as an artist. You see, it has to be, you have to do something other than say it makes you feel good. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need more than just feeling good. Like if you do flowers, right? Why can't you tell stories about flowers, how the flowers communicated to you and the flowers told you a story? That's more meaningful to me than saying, oh, I look at the flowers. Okay, what? They have nice colors. Even if it's composed well, without a story, it means nothing. Right? It's just like it'll last as long until the flowers wilt. Then it's gone. Let's see what else this guy says here. But he says he was raised by his great-great-grandmother, and she had dreams, and she would be able to, forecast things that are now happening now. This is the guy here, Standing Fox. He's a young brother, man. He's cool dude, right? So I want you to check that out. Think about what I'm trying to get across to you. Here's a nice one here. All right. It says, what do you hope to communicate to non-Indians throughout your work? Now, check that out. Why would this guy who's asking the questions call him an Indian? He's not an Indian, he's a native. I mean, all these little subtle things that go on in their heads have got to be corrected. He says, I think that the people in the U.S. tend to forget how rich the culture is on this land. A lot of people go outside of this country to volunteer and help other people in need. I want them to know that there are issues in their backyard. On the other hand, I think it's very important to know who the original people are here. So we got all that stuff going on. We know the deal on that. But I'm trying to find out a spot about his grandmother. His grandmother. Let's see. Here it is. The question is, can you talk about the importance of dreams in your life and artwork? I was raised by my great-grandmother. She was a healer, a very strong medicine woman. She had visions constantly. Ever since I was a young boy, she talked about the things that are happening now and told me that I would need to prepare myself. As Indian people, we take our direction from dreams, not from human reaction. At a very early age, I was taught about the power of dreams, about the Apache way, the Indian way. An image of someone will come to see me in a dream, and later I will see it happening and photograph that moment. Sometimes I dream about certain past figures or ancestors, and I will draw them as they come to me in my dream. Or I will find old photographs of them and recreate that image. I want to be here for those dreams. Now, what that borders on, of course, is like, touching the other side of the world. I mean, that's power. That's real power. And that's he's using that concept in his photography. You can use a similar concept in your painting, your sculpting, whatever you do. And part of that concept is telling your story. Because we live in a flat land, because we live in a flat culture, right? Everything is, homogenous. Everyone, no matter what color you are, what religion you are, you all drive the same cars. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, right? You know what I'm saying, right? It's the same clothes. It's the American way. Different guys have different trips on it, but it's the same thing. So that's why you need something like the Candid Video Interview to take you out of that flatness and give you a rise, or take you down deeper into the collective consciousness, into the dream world, it's called, right? That's why I'm here, all right? Call me, 201-790-3368. My name is Bill Like Clinton, Jordan Like Michael. Peace out.